Hi everyone, my name is Ivan Arenales, and me and my group today are going to teach you guys almost everything about dividing polynomials. Dividing, you guys know what that is, we all should know what that is. Polynomials are basically like, it's an expression that involves variables, constants and exponents, and they are usually combined with mathematical, like, what's that word, operations. So like adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplication. Multiplication and dividing, they are not really found in variables, in polynomials, sorry. They're not really found in polynomials, but the most common ones found in polynomials in general is usually adding and subtracting. And then dividing polynomials is basically you have to solve a rational number where polynomials can be divided with another polynomial, which can either be binomial, monomial, or trinomial. And today we're basically going to teach you guys how to mostly do all of that, including some real world examples.
I'm Cesar Diaz, and we got different types of nomials. We got the binomial. We have the trinomial. We have the monomial, right? This one is a straight line. This one is like that, like that. This one is like this. Usual. We're going to have to divide them mainly because we have to factor them as well. Polynomials, as you say, are just made up of different terms. Some equations can vary. Some can look like this. Or some can look like this. Of course, they can always be negative or positive, so you can always do that. There's always variation with them. So, there's more to come though.
My name is Miriam Favela, and today we're going to show you how to actually divide polynomials by each other. And one method that we will also be focusing on is synthetic division, which is basically a shortcut for long division, since it only uses the coefficients of each term or variable and not the unknown value. So it would take a shorter time, and it's easier to do since it also involves multiplication and addition instead of just all dividing.
So I'm going to show you guys an example of dividing polynomials. So the most common ones for this lesson is long division. So I'm going to show you guys an example, which will be plus 3, and then it'll be, let's see, we use s minus x and then minus 12. So for this one, you basically have to find a result that factors out x squared. So in this case, x times x is x squared. So we will first use x as our beginning polynomial. Why not? And you multiply this polynomial by this. So then it'll turn out x squared plus 3x. But since we are trying to factor out x squared, we have to multiply the equation first by a negative, just by a negative. But so basically an invisible -1. And then after that, we get a result as, let's see, let me do some math here. -4x minus 12. We're not done yet. We still have more to go. Just a little bit more. And then after that, we have to come up with another exponent, number, whatever, to multiply this by to get rid of -4x. So in this case, we will have to multiply this by a -4. So then it will be, no, I'm sorry, 4x minus 12. And once again, you have to multiply everything by a negative. But since a negative multiplies by another negative, it turns to a positive. So in this case, these two are positive. So once you factor out all of this out, your remainder is 0. And that is that equation done.
So of course, there's like trinomials, and sometimes they're gonna have a remainder. So we're gonna have a remainder sometimes. So our equation is 3x to the third power minus 5x, minus 5x squared plus 10x minus 3, get to dividing, we get 3x plus 1. So, normally it's just normal polynomial division. So we get this out of here, which means we're going to have to multiply by 1 x squared. And now we just do this. Which will give you, make this negative obviously. That'll give you 0. Oh no, whoops. Will give you, 0. This will give you 4x. So this will be 6x squared. It'll be also negative. So, and then we have to bring everything down. You might be wondering, well, what am I going to this? 2. So we do 2x. It's going to be negative. Do 6x. Then plus 2x. And then we just leave this spot open because, well, we don't really have anything. So that's 0. And then you have 12x minus 3. 4, right? So it'll be 4, it'll be 12, and then you obviously make that negative. That's 0, but then that's a remainder. So you might be wondering, well, what do we do with the remainder? We normally just grab the remainder, right? And then we just put whatever we have over it. So in this case, it would be x squared minus 2x plus 4 minus 7 over 3x plus 1.
So the second method for dividing polynomials is using synthetic division, which I mentioned before. So for example, your problem could be 3x squared minus 10x minus 3 divided by x plus 3. So to solve this, you can draw a box here, and what goes on the outside is your divisor. It's going to be the opposite of the number, so positive 3 turns into negative 3. And then on the top, along the top, you just write the coefficients of the polynomial. So 3 minus 10 minus 3. So first, you drop this number down to the bottom, and then you multiply whatever you get from the bottom to the divisor. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 10 minus 9 is negative 19. Negative 19 times negative 3 is positive 57. And so negative 3 plus 57 equals 54. So your last number on your answer is your remainder. So as usual, like before, it would just go over what you divided by. So 54 over x plus 3. And 3 is your first term here. And it would just be 3x because The first term, since it's squared, the exponent goes down by one value. So 3x minus 10 plus 54 over x plus 3. And that's your final answer. So you may be wondering, how can we use what we learned in a real world situation? So you could have a problem like this, for example, which says there is a rectangular room with an area that is represented by 3x cubed minus 8x squared plus 16x minus 1. The width is x minus 1. What is the length of the room? And to do this, x minus 1 would be your divisor. And so, again, when we use synthetic division, it would be the opposite. It goes on the outside of the box. And then we just use the coefficients. So 3 minus 8 plus 16 minus 1. The 3 drops down here. 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. Multiply is negative 5 again. 16 minus 5 is positive 11. 11 times 1 is just 11. So negative 1 plus 11 is 10. And so putting this back into polynomial form would be 3x squared minus 5x plus 11 plus 10 over x minus 1. So this expression is what we would use to represent the length of the rectangular room.
So that's all for today for teaching you guys almost everything about dividing polynomials. Me and my group, Ivan, Miriam, and Caesar. We hope you guys have a good day. Farewell. Like, hi everyone, my name is Ivan Ronaldes, and today we're gonna be like, I don't know, showing you guys how to, or I don't know. Hi everyone, I'm gonna mess it up. God damn it. Hi everyone, my name is Ivan Ornales, and today me and my group are going to teach you Huh?
It was trash in this room.
Yeah.
What's up?